Okay.
Or we can do it like
I'll just
this.
do next slide.
Okay.
Okay. All right, team. Welcome to your virtual ArtCon. This is a good way to at least meet for a little bit. My name is Allison Gross. I almost said my maiden name because I've always presented in my maiden name, but I'm one of your national administrative consultants. I work for the EMC, which means I work for you. So we're just going to give you a quick overview of what we do, what opportunities we have offered you through the EMC, and what our role is to help you as students of this organization. So next slide. So our key functions really run through General Woodward and then Miss Marianne. And so the General Woodwards, both Maggie and Dan, are in charge as executive directors of our management center. And then Marianne is a really administrative assistant, but she is a lot of the heart and soul of our communication and why we function at the EMC. But our main role is we provide the national level administration for both Arnold Air Society and Silver Wings. They work closely with us, which are the national administrative consultants. And so I will go over those. And then also our leadership team. So our entire national staff, and then as we branch down, all of our region staff. We provide administrative, financial, and just operational continuity because every year you guys change out on leadership. And so there needs to be a level of continuity. And that's where we fill in. Strategic partnerships, the EMC, really the General Woodwards and Marianne, are the ones that make strategic partnerships, whether it's Air Force leadership, the AT-FROTC program, reaching out to different administrative services at the colleges, the Air Force Association, the Airlift Tanker Association, the USAA, and various other industry partners. They are our link. They've worked in industry, and they are really the people that connect. As far as day-to-day operations, we're here to help you, and especially as national administrative consultants, given you follow the chain of command. If things can't be figured out, you start going up the chain. If you have to spend more than an hour trying to solve a solution that you just can't figure out, start going up the chain, and eventually, if it can't be figured out, it ends up at us as national administrative consultants to help you. Next slide. All right, so here's this team that I was talking about. So General Maggie Woodward, she is a graduate of Arizona State. She's a previous Army. She served 8 years at the Pentagon, and she has held various commands in the Air Force. Marianne Williams is our senior director, our administrative support at the EMC. She is really, really gung-ho about Duke, and you will know that if you meet her. She's an alumni in an Army, and she did serve in the Air Force. And her family is all Air Force, including her children and then her husband as well. And then General Dan Woodward, he is our main guy. He's always the one up talking. He's a graduate of Embry-Riddle, Daytona, previous Army, 8 years at the Pentagon, married to obviously General Maggie Woodward, and he served for 36. Who has served for 36 years. So, next slide. So, who are we as NACs? NAC stands for National Administrative Consultant. We are all alumni, and we have been selected after our service of time as being an Army or Silver Wings to serve as role models, leaders, and to help you guys with your mission. We try and chime in when we can. We let you do your thing, but we help guide you if needed. So we don't serve with any compensation. We're 100% volunteers. We all have full-time jobs. And then we pop in where we can to help you guys do your job. So just as a reminder, we work for the executive directors, which means we work for you to help you get your mission done and just kind of guide you. Don't forget that we are here. Sometimes we'll be a little ghost in the background, but just know that we have tons of years of service and we are here to help you. So next slide. So let's go through all the NACs. You will see us at various conferences. We're the people that look much older than you and don't fit in as well. But we're here, and we're not just random people that have shown up to these meetings. But one of our newest ads is Joey Fitzpatrick. He is how do I describe Joey? Joey is like our tech go-to guy. So he's an RIT graduate. He's active duty, and he is good with everything that has to do with our communications, all of our online presence, but he's also really great in the Silver Wings realm. So he's a past national president, and so he often pops in when us 3 ladies on the Silver Wings NAC team can't be there. So one of our Silver Wings NAC team is McKinnon Pierce. She's served on 2 roles on national staff, 2 years in a row, Auburn graduate, and she recently just got a new job in the DC area. She was working for the Air Force Association, but she has switched off from that position to try something new. Next one is Captain Dan Whalen. He's also leadership command. He's more on the Army side, but he is really great on all things that we do on Silver Wings and really gets that big picture of the connection of Silver Wings and Our Air Society. So he's a really good one to talk to. He's a West Virginia graduate, been on the team for a very long time and one of our most senior NACs. Next slide. Marissa is conclave and planning and execution, really great at her job. George Washington University graduate, logistics readiness officer, so makes her even good at even better at all the logistical side of our NACCon. She is a recent, not a new mom. She actually is a new mom. She just had another kid a couple months ago, Ellie. So she has 2 kids, and so she's running around, and that's a really big passion in her life. But she's extremely good at the NACCon planning side. So for those of you, I know we have NACCon kids on the team, and so she's really who advises those. Gabby Kearney. Gabby is a Michigan State graduate, Our Air Society Leadership and Command, also handles all the manuals for Our Air Society, and great team. She's been on the team for a long time. Shiki is protocol, so she serves the protocol team, Colorado State area graduate, and then so she's kind of hidden. She's always running around, popping in between Army meetings and Silver Wings meetings, so she really handles all the protocol and all the behind-the-scenes work that make all of the conclaves and whether it's NACCon or ARCON really flow. Next slide. That's me in the bottom corner. It doesn't look like me now. You'll see me at NACCon. I will be there for a few days. I handle all the manuals, so the Silver Wings manual and all the NBC's parliamentary procedures, chapter affairs, and then I help with leadership operations. I'm the senior NAC. We just had a NAC step off the team, but I have taken a step back. I am a high school agricultural science teacher and FFA advisor, and so my job is super demanding. So McKinnon and Tate really lead the forefront, and then I chime in where needed. I'm an Arizona State grad. Hannah Richmond. Hannah Richmond is on the NACCon or conclave planning team, also Michigan State like Gabby, and she's a logistic readiness officer for the Air Force. And then this used to be Lieutenant Long, but it's a recent Captain Long, so he just promoted up. He's leadership and command, Auburn graduate, and is really good at leading our cadets for Our Air Society. Next one. All right, Tate is our newest addition. She's the past president from this last year. Auburn graduate is really doing a great job forefront as a NAC because she's the most recent and has it all in her brain after a couple years. You have more knowledge, but you forget to know some of the inner workings, and so Tate's been really great. And then Chris Bear is the newest addition to the conclave planning team. Next slide. Okay, so now that we've gone through all the NACs, I know that's brief and it's really hard to remember them, but you'll just see our faces. Most of those pictures are the same besides me. So you will see us at the upcoming NACCon. So looking at our overall, what our snapshot is, because a lot of times we need to focus on renewals and associates. I know Our Air Society is at the top, but I'm going to focus on Silver Wings. We're doing pretty well this year. If you look at our associates, our new members, we went up from 284 to 340, which is, in my opinion, incredible because look at our numbers. We're already low, so that's a large increase. And then even though we haven't decreased on renewals, I think it's still a win to have 6 more than we had last year. Could we be doing it better? Yes, but the goal is not to decrease. So good on you because you guys are the heart of make sure all of our registration and all of our dues are completed. So thank you, and it's only can get better from here. Okay. At the bottom though, this is truly one of General Woodward's key fears that we have in the organization because while we're not young, we have a lot of work to do. And one of his biggest things is because if something happened, and we don't have this as much as Our Air Society, but if there was a hazing event or something that was awful, it would completely shut us down. The Air Force would drop us. We would lose a lot of our professional sponsorships. And just to keep it in mind that we are a professional organization, and when you go to the big Air Force or you go to an organization, a large organization to work for, it's about professionalism. So keep that in mind when you are partnering with your Armies and you are doing your training, that it's about professionalism and building leaders and people who are going to lead organizations, because it's one significant hazing incident that will bring down both organizations, and no one will cut the tie faster than the U.S. Air Force, and they won't care. So just keep that in mind when we talk about that, because I know it's in the recent couple years they've had things on the news, and that is honestly one of General Woodward's biggest fears. So next slide. So this is one of General Woodward's biggest hitting points, and I have not seen an executive director see it more than him, is that Silver Wings is an integral part into Arnold Air Society and Silver Wings partnership. A lot of times we have been seen as the second person and not an equal partnership to Arnold Air Society, but what Silver Wings really offers is students to demystify a portion of the military, and it provides huge opportunities for students who would not otherwise have them. So between all of our scholarships, all of our opportunities like the flights and the skydiving, the congressional internships, there's a lot of opportunities that Silver Wings offers, and there's a lot of opportunity for growth and sustainment of the organization. And we're, as members of the organization, we're the ones to do it. So I'm going to go over a ton of, and again, these are General Woodward slides. I'm going to go over a ton of opportunities on all the ones we've had, and you can see the growth over the last couple of years. Next slide. So this organization builds great people. Marianne Thompson, Bev Menser, Bonnie Dunbar, Jason Beal, and then also Molly Mae Potter. I'm going to go over these people, but there's a great legacy to be built here. And at the end of the slide, I'll go over who these people are. Next slide, sorry. So ASIF, I know, I wish I could see like raised hands. I would ask you if we could raise our hands. I wish that, who has heard of ASIF? Yep, I see. Thank you to my
Allison, I'm an intern for them right now. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
ASIF
you
is on the field now, so you can talk about it, but yeah.
ASIF is our fundraising or our foundational piece of our organization. And so we, as an organization for Silver Wings and Arnold Air Society, we are not considered a 501c3, which is a charitable nonprofit. Essentially, people can't donate directly to Arnold Air Society and Silver Wings without having that tax-deductible contribution. So they can donate to our organization through our ASIF organization. And eventually just provides a place for them to give us funding, whether it's scholarships, fellowships, and we need people to donate to them in order to help better fund our organization, to provide like lower conference fees, speaker fees, internships, fellowships, trainings, awards, and recognition. Next slide. So this is the combined federal campaign is a avenue for people who work for the government or work for the federal employee government to get donations through their paychecks. And this is a goal for the EMC is 400 days to $40,000, and so a little over a year. And there are a lot of Armies and Silver Wings who work for the federal government. So pass the word. This is our goal as far as the EMC is to raise $40,000 through the CFC. Next slide. Here's the really cool part. Before General Woodward, and this looks slightly off just because of the way the slide is built, it's not on a table, I don't think. Before General Woodward got here, a lot of these opportunities were not here. So, and that was the time when I was in Silver Wings. And looking at it now, this is incredible. Like these things were not available. So AFA internships, those are open to civilians. Pentagon internships, unfortunately, are not open to civilians because of the clearance needed. So those ones are only for cadets, Arnold Air Society. Air University fellowships are for civilians, and that's, I believe, reserved just for civilians because we can't get you into the Pentagon. Flight scholarships, skydive scholarships, there's various trustee scholarships, and then just normal like academic scholarships. An IronNet internship is for those students who have tech fields who are like computer science. Congressional internships are something that's really new and very cool. The Women's Memorial is actually at Arlington. So there's a memorial right outside Arlington. Those are new internships this year. And then ASIF internships, which is what Haley has. And then the Smart Palace Acquire, that has to do with usajobs.gov. That's something that General Word is working on fast tracking some students into federal jobs. So he's currently working on those. It's a tricky scenario with those. And then the ones in yellow are ones we don't offer anymore. But if you look across the bottom line where it says opportunities, in 2013, they had about 13 of these available, and now we have 79. That's an incredible growth. And I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. I'm gonna go outside. My husband's working on the roof. So there are tons of opportunities that are available and that have just blown us out of the water as NACs. Take advantage of these, because I can tell you there are not a lot of students that do, and you are missing out if you do not take advantage of this stuff. Next slide. So here's some pictures, recent pictures in the last couple of years of some really cool stuff happening, whether it's internships at AFA or just skydiving or flight scholarships. Next slide. Here's some more pictures of all the internships and scholarships that he's sent in. Next slide. Okay, your NACCON staff already talked about these, so I won't go over it too much, but we've confirmed Matthew Donovan. General Holmes, we did have a different speaker, but it wasn't able to confirm, so General Mike Holmes is going to step in. We're going to have Pace again, and Pace has been here for the last couple years, and so great opportunity. It's different every year. Attach a panel was something that we did last year. It was really interesting. I think everyone had joined it. We were like on the edge of our seats. I couldn't understand some of the things, and so you had to really, really focus because they were international attaché. So that's expected this year, and we have TBD on who's going to be there. And then again, a trustee panel, because our trustees also meet the same time that you all meet. Next slide. Okay, and these are just pictures from last year, which are fun to look back. In fact, there's Megan in the middle, and she's a retired NAC. So we had Big Easy Con last year, and we were really looking forward to going to CheeseCon in Milwaukee. Next slide. So you stand on the shoulder of giants. We have incredible history. We are not a small club. And even though we ebb and flow in membership, there's incredible history in this organization. This is the Air Force Scroll of Appreciation, which is really rare to get, and it was handed to the Honor Air Society and Silver Wings at a previous ARCON. So there are incredible things here between General McNabb, like the Rosie the Riveter from a few years ago. There are incredible things happening here, but it all took students just like you doing great things and going above and beyond what was expected. Next slide. What can I answer for you? Are there any questions that I can answer for any of you?
Hey, Allison, is the IronNet internship just for cadets, or is it for civilians as well?
No, it's for civilians as well, I believe. I believe the IronNet one is for, and I'm not as updated on these because I wasn't able to attend exec boards, but the IronNet internship, I believe, is through Marianne's husband, and it's their business that has to do with computer science. The best, if I'm correct, Joey Fitzpatrick had that internship, and so he would be a really good one to talk to if I'm thinking this is the right internship. So
I know I talked to him some, and he did do IronNet, but I didn't know if it was just for cadets.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I think if you have a computer science background and you meet the requirements, I do not think that they will care whether you are a cadet or not. The only one that's really like for cadets is that Pentagon one, just because we can't get clearance to get you into the Pentagon.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. Any other questions? All right.